Good afternoon. I'd like to call this public hearing on the budget to order at 5:30 on Tuesday, August 26th. Your proposed rate.
Yes, sir. So Scott tonight's going to go over his public hearing, the 25-26 budget, and also setting the 25-26 tax rate. I want to thank him and the team, especially the committee that worked with our budget, trying to cut the deficit. We worked really hard, and with legislation, I think we're going to be in a good place going forward. And so he's going to kind of go over to those numbers and introduce the budget and also the tax rate that we're going to try to bring to you all at the next board meeting right after this.
Thank you. Good evening, board members, Dr. Ball, senior staff. Tonight we will have a public hearing on the proposed tax rate and the proposed budget that we will approve later on tonight. All right. Tonight we will visit about the proposed budget of the general fund, the child nutrition fund, and the debt service fund, as well as look at the proposed tax rate. Right. All right. So as we've worked through this process, we know that we are writing a budget that will have a projected enrollment of 15,216 students with an average daily attendance of 13,668. We are hoping that these combined assumptions yield us a net revenue of $182,046,935. And so within that revenue, we have a tax collection of a M&O rate of 72 cents that we're looking to recommend for approval, as well as an INS rate of 43,810. All right. So our total expenses will be 185 million with a deficit that we're recommending $3.4 million deficit that we're looking at tonight. Any questions on that? All right. As well as the budget tonight, we also have some projects that weren't quite finished and that we'll bring back to you guys in September for our budget amendment. And those are our purchase order rollovers. We just want to bring those to you tonight so you kind of have an idea what to expect next month.
So these are going to have to adopt the budget, and then in September we're going to do a budget amendment. So these are items, like Scott said, that we purchased or they've worked on, and we haven't received invoices, or we haven't received the actual product, so we weren't able to close them out. So we don't want that to impact next year's budget. So that money will go in general fund, but we'll ask for it back to cover those expenses. It is general fund and child nutrition.
Yeah. All right. As stated earlier, the expected revenue is 182 million, with a majority of that coming from state revenue. About 1% comes from federal revenue and 30% comes from local revenue, including tax collections. Conversely, we have our expenses. We have 83% of our expenses are for salaries and personnel, while 17% of our expenses are for operations. All right. And if we look at those same expenses by function, the next page, you can see that our most of our budget is put into the function 11, which goes towards direct student expenses. And the rest of the budget goes to supporting those student expenses. So we have a whole budget dedicated to supporting the students. Any questions on the function? And this is how you all will be approving the budget tonight, by the way, fund and function. So, all right. We also break it down by objects so you can kind of see the different object codes that the budget is written with. As you can see, 83% of it is personnel. The rest goes to various categories. We do a lot of professional services and contracted services, and so that's the second largest category. And any questions on that?
I have a question on the previous
Oh,
page,
yes, ma'am.
budget by function.
Mhm.
I see we have $100,000 budgeting for JJB fees.
Mhm.
Yes.
What do we normally use? Like what?
It just depends on,
Yeah.
like this year, I think we're going to spend maybe 30,000 or less.
Yeah.
Some years it's been more. So we kind of budget 100, and if we don't use it, sometimes when we clean up our budgets, we'll move it out. But we can't anticipate that number, so we start with 100, and if it goes more, then we bring a budget amendment to change that for more, or we can bring a budget amendment to move it somewhere else to use somewhere else in our budget.
And then would you say historically the amount has been low, like?
It's
maybe
lower.
less?
We haven't gone over 100,000. I've never had to, usually it's like, tonight we do our final budget amendment, I'm moving money out of it to go cover some expenses somewhere else.
Okay.
All right. The next slide, we have our campus budget allocations, and this is our non-payroll allocation by campus, and it's based on the 15,216 student enrollment. And just wanted to let y'all see that. Moving along, we have the department discretionary budgets, and those are separated by senior staff who oversee those specific departments. And we have several of those, and they are all on these next few slides. Any questions on those? All right. Any questions on the general fund budget before we move on to the child nutrition and debt service budget? So the child nutrition budget is the next budget that we will recommend for approval tonight. And tonight we are looking at a $19 million revenue as well as a $19 million expenditure. So we're looking to break even. Child nutrition budget, as we stated last week, is looking to increase their budget based on doing the supper program as well as some projects they have going on. So, and finally, the third budget we're recommending tonight for approval is the debt service budget and our entrance and sinking budget. And for that, we have $33 million revenue with $33 million expenditures. So, and that will cover our bond payment as well as a defeasance that was approved last week. Any questions on that one? Sure. I'm sorry. No problem.
Back under the department, Aubrey,
Mhm.
what is MSB?
MSB was the billing organization that we used for Medicaid previously, and we're using Onward now.
That should just say SHARS payments on that.
Charter?
Yeah.
So when we submit for our SHARS, this company that we contract out gets a percentage. And previously, we were getting pretty large reimbursements. So that number was a lot higher, so we decreased that because some things that are up there in SHARS, but the company now is on it.
Insurance is,
That has to do with the Medicaid piece that we were talking about.
so we
That's how you-
provide services that are covered by Medicaid, right, bill them, and then they reimburse us. Oh,
Correct. And the guidelines have changed in terms of what is eligible for billing at this point, which is kind of what Brandon is talking about, that it's reduced what we're able to actually be reimbursed for.
About 3 years ago, we probably got reimbursed about $3 to $4 million.
Yeah.
Less than
Yeah.
$700,000 due to the new regulations and the changes.
Yeah.
So that number's kind of high right now, but we don't know. We're starting a new company. We think we get some better service, some better reimbursements. So we're hoping for larger reimbursements. So that's why that budget is budgeted there. But then that would be moved if, like we said, we don't get our quota reimbursement.
All right.
that's fine.
All right. Moving on to the all budgets page. We have the 3 budgets that will be approved later on tonight. And a document similar to this will be posted on the website with our approved budget. And any questions on these numbers?
Just to talk about this real quick, so just so the board understands, so when you see like where we put board amendment and then Scott puts on there, okay, changes that we're making to the actual budget, you all approve this by function. So like function 11, right now, we're asking the board going into next year to approve $103 million. If we decide or we get a request from a department or a campus principal, they say they want to move a little bit more into instructional resources, function 12, that is approved by you. So that's when we bring those board amendments. So y'all approve general fund, y'all approve changes to child nutrition fund, and they really only have 2 functions. And then you also approve debt service. And so those are the 3 budgets that we can't move money anywhere across functions without y'all's approval. So that's the key part to those budget amendments that we send every month. Also, general fund, like fund balances for these groups are protected also. We cannot add fund balance without y'all's approval because we would be adding to these functions. So anytime we would ask for fund balance, we seek your approval. Normally, we do that formally and, depending on the project, and then we would bring in a budget amendment to make those changes, and so it would be reflected in the actual budget. In the budget, sorry.
All right. Moving right along to the tax side of tonight's presentation. We have the taxpayer notice that we are required to post in the Express News as well as post on our website.
It doesn't look that fuzzy in the newspaper.
Yes. If you look real closely, you can see it's good. But yeah,
I thought it was fast.
I did that thing with the Apple iPad where you, anyways. All right. So moving right along, we have the tax rate for, drum roll please, the tax rate that we are recommending tonight to be approved is a 0.7217 maintenance and effort tax rate, as well as an interest in seeking tax rate of 0.4381 for a total tax rate of 1.1598, which is the same as last year.
So this year, our values actually went down. So we brought the certified values early this month for your approval. With a new homestead of adding the 40,000 and then 140,000, our values actually dropped 2.6%. And so you can see over time, starting from legislation back in 2018, that we've been compressed, especially on the M&O side. We've maintained the same tax rate that we asked the voters when we sold our bonds, that 200 million. So we're able to make our debt payment. We're also able to still maintain our operations and still work on cutting our deficit. And so we feel like we're in good area in our tax rate, especially on this side, as we still have 50 million out there that we may need to borrow here in the future, as we decide what we do next. And then potential capacity, we always want to continue to build capacity for a future bond down the road if the district continues to go. So tonight we have the no new revenue tax rate that we'll bring to y'all for approval. I'll bring that to y'all. And the voter tax rate, voter approval tax rate, then I'll bring to y'all at the next board meeting here at 5:45. We'll need to approve those first before we approve that tax rate.
Yep.
And I'll share those with y'all.
All right.
Can we get the information on what our neighboring tax rates are?
Absolutely.
I guess that's just like all of them.
You can do that.
All right.
I think that's it.
That's it.
Any questions? Okay, thank you. And at this time, are there any public comments on the 2025-2026 budget proposed tax rate? Anyone? Hearing none. This meeting is adjourned at 5:43. At this time, I'd like to call the special meeting to order at 5:45 PM. I'd like to begin with invocation and pledges.
Thank you. Please rise if you're able. Lord, let us pause in gratitude for the students, staff, and community who we serve daily, and in return for their support that makes our mission possible. Grant us clarity of mind and of heart as we consider choices that shape classrooms, campuses, and futures. May our questions be thoughtful, and may our decisions be based on what is best for our students. Strengthen our resolve to champion equity, to invest wisely, and to plan not only for tomorrow's needs, but also for the many students to come in the future. May our work tonight be guided by wisdom and compassion so that every decision creates opportunity for the young people of Southwest ISD. We ask all these things in your name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Anybody sign up for public comments?
No, sir.
Consider approval of purchase of Google Workspace licenses.
Yes, sir. This is one action item we had to add because our Google licenses are coming up September 13th. And so we negotiated with a vendor that handles this, the Google Workspace licenses, CDWG. we were actually gonna get an increase to 100,000, per year. But we were able to negotiate, if we were able to sign up for a 3-year contract, they reduced that to 63,000 a year, which is less than what we're paying this year. So we're asking the board to approve the purchase of Google Workspace licenses on a 3-year agreement with CDWG.
I move.
We have a motion to approve the purchase of Google Workspace licenses and a 3-year agreement with CDWG. We also have a second. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Okay, consider approval of 24-25 final budget amendment.
Yes, sir. Just like I talked about earlier with the budget, the district is required to get seek approval for y'all, for each function. And so we're bringing the final, budget amendment to show that how much this is not necessarily how much we spend per function. This is to make sure that we have room, that we don't spend more in each function. So I don't know if you remember in the last year's audit, we did have, one function that we overspent, that was function 23, by like 20,000. It's just something that we have to share with y'all, but we were trying to make sure that we don't do that. So we move money around to cover, we have our end of the year expenditures. We make sure that each one of those functions is covered with enough money in those budgets. So I'm asking the board to approve the final budget amendment for 24-25.
I move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the final budget amendment for the 2024-2025 school year. Questions, anyone? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Consider approval of 2025-2026 district budget.
Yes, we're recommend to the board to approve the 25-26 district budget as presented tonight. You have a copy of it in front of you on your desk, and that will be the official budget going into next year. Will be posted online as soon as y'all approve it.
I move.
A second. We have a motion and a second that we approve the 2025-2026 district budget as presented. Questions, anyone?
I have a question. Last year we approved the budget, it was $12 million deficit. What is it ending at?
We're still working through that right now because we still have revenue for August to come in.
Okay.
We have a settle up, which we're gonna probably receive about another 8 million from the state due to our growth. And we're still getting, tax money in. So we're hoping it's gonna still be less than 10 million, because last year at the end of the year, we ended up being $9 million at the end of last year. I think it'll probably be either close to that or a little bit less than that. So it does show that we are adopting a $15 million deficit, but that's if we spent every dollar, which we did. And that's because also our revenue is coming in a lot higher just because of our growth in our ADA and our students.
Any other questions? The motion is second, the board approve the 2025-2026 district budget as presented. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Consider approval of the no new revenue tax rate and voter approval tax rate for tax year 2025-2026 for Southwest Independent School District.
Yes, before the board approves the actual tax rate, property code requires the board to approve the no new revenue tax rate and the voter approval tax rate. The no new revenue tax rate would impose the same total taxes of last year. And then the voter approval tax rate is the highest tax rate the district can set without causing a vader, or what we call a voter approval tax rate election. So this year's no new revenue tax rate is $1.123724 per $100 value. And this year's voter approval tax rate is $1.1598 per 100 value. And so our maintenance and operations M&O rate is 72.17 cents, and then the interest sinking is 43.81, which equals the voter approval tax rate. So we are approving a rate that meets the qualifications. So tonight we're asking the board to approve the no new revenue tax rate and the voter approval tax rate for 25-26.
I move.
There a motion second to accept the no new revenue tax rate and voter approval tax rate for the tax year 2025-2026 for Southwest Independent School District as recommended at 1.1598. Questions, anyone? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Consider approval of a resolution setting the tax rate for the 2025-2026 tax year.
Yeah, so, there is a resolution that's required, that needs to be posted on the website. And so tonight, we're asking the board to approve the tax rate to cover maintenance and operation expenses and the bond indebtedness, which is the INS rate. There is a recommended motion. The motion. Oh, yes. So we're asking the board to approve the M&O rate at 72 cents 17 and the INS tax rate at 43.81 for a total tax rate of $1.1598. There is a special motion.
I move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of $1.1598, which is effectively a 3.21% increase in the tax rate.
Second.
The motion is second to approve the tax rate 2025 for the Southwest Independent School District. M&O tax rate of 0.7217 and INS tax rate of 0.4381 for a total tax rate of 1.1598. Questions, anyone? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Okay. At this time, as permitted by sections 551.001 through 551.146 of Texas Government Code, pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071, attorney consultation regarding legal issues related to public complaint grievances, and pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.074, hear and consider Level 3 public complaint grievances filed by community member and made against Southwest ISD and Board of Trustees regarding issues including election concerns and perceived conflicts of interest by Board of Trustees. We will now go into closed session at 5:54. We come back into open session at 8:24.
Can your mic also?
Take two. We come back into open session at 8:24. And we go to item 11. Consider and take possible action regarding level 3 public complaint grievances.
I move to deny the level 3 grievances filed by Mr. Bernal on the remedies requested specifically for items 1 through 13.
A second. We have a motion second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Is there any other motions?
I move to deny the level 3 grievances specifically numbered 14, 15, and 16 filed by Mr. Bernal and the remedies requested.
A second. All in favor, please.
I'd like to go on record as abstaining from the vote.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes with one abstention. Is there any other motions?
I move to deny level 3 grievance number 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21 filed by Mr. Bernal and the remedies requested.
A second. The motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? I do. I abstain. Motion passes. Now we can go to superintendent's remarks.
Yes, sir, thank you. We have.
Thank you, Rob. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. We'd just like to remind the board that we have our very first football game, this Friday, versus Carbondale here at Fraser Field at 7:30. And this weekend, we do have a volleyball tournament that's gonna be held at Southwest Legacy Gym.
Great.
Our polo tournament was really good for a lot of people.
If anybody, just a reminder to wear your passes. If anybody needs any extra, please let me know. I'll give it, if that was a second too.
Anything else? Hearing done. This meeting is now closed at 8:26.